My name is Knudsen. I'm with EntitySeeker Paranormal Research and Investigations here in Edmonton. And I want to thank you guys for coming along. I want to share some really neat stuff with you. As I say, there's been quite a few people over the years that have had some really amazing experiences. This is something that's universal. This transcends cultures, this transcends religion, this transcends time, space, country. It doesn't matter. We get thousands of emails from people all over the world, and this is something that affects everybody. And let me tell you, the names of the spirits may change, whether you want to call them spirits or entities or ghosts or jinn or duppy or whatever culture you're from. It doesn't really matter. It's really what comes. It's a natural experience for everybody. I was mentioning, we appeared on a haunting. We really like to use our TV experiences and stuff like that for a great opportunity to teach. So let me tell you a little bit about EntitySeeker, and then we'll get into the really good stuff. We've been doing this for about 8 years. Some of you have probably seen our booth over there. My great-great-grandfather was A.D. Watson, who founded the first Paranormal Research Association in 1922, and then it just carried over from there. We were really lucky. I actually didn't know about him until I got involved in this stuff. So you want to say, I guess, runs in the blood, I guess, right? But here's the thing, is that these experiences have taught us a lot, and what we've realized is that you really do have to be in a good state of mind or good alignment with yourself in order to have a good experience with a lot of these spirits. Because what can happen often is that people really like to get involved in this stuff because they think it's really cool, or they've seen the TV shows and they think that they can really just go out there and just go into a haunted place and start investigating. And what we found is that that's really not the case, is that there has to be a lot of work done within yourself first, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit here pretty soon. Stephanie and I founded the company, as I say, about 8 years ago. We've investigated everywhere, from homes to bars. You guys have probably been down White Ave to most of the bars that we've investigated. Probably a lot of you guys have been into the Iron Horse, or Rehab, or the Walter Dale Theatre. A lot of places that you guys are totally familiar with have a lot of these spirits. And pretty much anywhere that you've got any sort of focused physical thought, you're going to have a haunting. So basically everywhere. But the thing is that when people are in a good place and are in a good state of mind, you can have the most wonderful experience with these spirits that you could possibly ever imagine. You can develop a relationship that is so meaningful that it will change your life. The opposite to that, however, is that if you're sort of swinging a little bit, maybe in the not so good area, maybe anger or fear or despair, which is often where a lot of people do start their investigations or interest in the paranormal, is they start a little bit from a place of either fear or curiosity, which is never a good place to be when you're wanting to attract something really positive. A lot of people will go in, for example, and want to talk to a loved one that's passed away or something like that, who's now in pure positive, wonderful energy, and they go in and they pick up something like a Ouija board or something like that, and they start this communication from a place of grief or a place of sorrow. So that's kind of what they're putting out there. And let me tell you something about spirits that we've learned that I can actually say for absolute certainty, is that they don't see us as male or female. They don't care that we pay the bills. They don't care that we tote the kids around all day. What they really care about is our energy and what we're giving off. Now what I'm talking about, I'm not trying to sound like this is a bunch of hokiness. What I'm trying to say is that I want you guys to think about your workplace for a minute, okay? You think about your workplace. Somebody comes into your workplace that's been in a bad mood for a while, you know it. You don't have to say anything. They don't have to say anything to you. They walk into the office and you know it. It just radiates from them. And that's what happens. That's what a lot of these entities are picking up on. So what will happen is that somebody will get into this space where they think, oh yeah, this is, I've got a spirit in my house and I'm really afraid of it. I don't know why it keeps throwing a dish at me, or I don't know why it keeps slamming these doors all the time, because I'm really scared. And what they don't understand is that what they're giving out, that's what they're getting back. And it happens in life too, is that when you're giving that vibration out, have you ever noticed when you're in a bad mood, you tend to kind of attract people that are also in a bad mood, or somebody, or you call your friend just to see if you can goose it up a little more. And that's kind of what happens with a lot of these haunted situations. So what we do is we have a program called Teaching the Living. And Teaching the Living is exactly that. Instead of focusing on trying to get the entity to change their behavior in some way, shape, or form, which you usually can't do because you can't control somebody else, and you can't control somebody else's reality. They're going to do what they're going to do. What you want to do is change the way you're feeling from the inside out, and Teaching the Living is really about that. It's not about correcting the chaos out there, it's about correcting the chaos here so that you get a ripple effect in the environment, and that's what ends up happening. So we do this in a lot of ways. We do a lot of investigating, and we love going into these places, meeting these new people, whether they be dead or alive. We've made some pretty good friends, let me tell you, and not all of them have physical bodies anymore. I'll tell you a funny story, actually. There's a bar just off White Avenue. You guys, you probably remember it when it was still the Guilty Martini, maybe. It's just off White Ave. Now it's called Rehab. But we had a great experience in there. We were all sitting around on the main level, and it was one of our first investigations, actually. So this is dating a little back. And we were all sitting on the main floor, and we knew about a few of the spirits that were there, and some of them that we knew about were a couple of lovely ladies who liked to be a little bit on the mischievous side. And they tended to, you know, push people a little bit, or, you know, go out of their way to just make a little bit of extra noise and really freak out some of the people that were working there after hours. So we were sitting there, and all of a sudden we hear from the second floor. Now keep in mind that there's nobody else in the building. This building is after hours shut down. And we hear this voice go, ha ha ha, here they come again. So our egos were a little tarnished because, let's face it, when the spirits are laughing at you, it hurts a little bit. But, you know, it was just fantastic. And ever since then, we've gone back there over and over and over again. We've actually established quite a relationship with the entities that are there. So as I say, it can be one of the most wonderful experiences that you can ever have. The key is that you've got to do the work first. You've got to get yourself into a good feeling place, because if you go in and you try to talk to spirits, or you try to reach for some sort of, you know, good feeling spirit, or somebody that you really loved and want to talk to that's passed over, and believe me, anybody can do this. You do not have to find some conduit through another person to do this. Everybody's got the ability to do this. But a lot of the time, as I say, people do not do the work first, and that's what we're trying to get across. You've got to get yourself into a really happy place. You've got these spirits that have re-emerged into pure positive energy. If you're in a state of fear or grief, they can't hear you. They're not resonating there. And they're not going to bring their vibration down to you. And that's sometimes what happens and what runs people into trouble. When they turn around and they think, okay, I want to sit down and I want to talk to this loved one who I miss so much. And that's what's resonating in their